Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Welcome, my friends, to today's episode of Top Deck, where we are covering a Jeskai Mutate deck. This one from the Kaldehim Championship, piloted by our friend Jeskai Mutate. I may have absolutely butchered that. I apologize, my friend, but very excited to play this deck here today because seemingly it may seem fairly straightforward, but it is exponentially crazy to pilot. So very excited to be driving through this here today, my friends, and looking forward to something incredibly unique, like I said, in today's current standard environment. Something certainly worth us taking the time and taking a peek at and having some fun with as well. So this Jeskai Mutate deck, we got a lot going on, my friends, so please feel free to navigate down below to the timestamps where we will cover the strategy objective of this list. We'll talk about how you're going to board for your best of 3 matches. We'll go play some competitive Magic for you here today in Mythic in both best of 1 and best of 3. And then lastly, we'll talk about where this may actually sit in today's meta. And if you do happen to have questions or comments throughout the video, please let me know down below. You can hop into the Discord server there as well. Plenty of folks there happy to help. And lastly, please feel free to flip me a like if you do enjoy the deck list in today's video, and then also other great ways to support the channel, my friends, in the details. So let's jump into it here with our Jeskai Mutate deck. So the key mechanic, like I said, may seemingly sound fairly straightforward with Mutate, but I can guarantee we got a lot of things going on here. So couple of the biggest pieces about this deck is we're certainly taking advantage of the mythics and a lot of the top end in terms of the mutate mechanics. We have early landings here with our different our Polywog. We can also hit our lovely artifact creature wall if we wanted to. Now we see unsubstantiate here the ability to bounce back our creature or our opponent's spell is very, very flexible. We've added in Search for Glory, which I really like. At first I was like, why are we riding on the snow? This is allowing us to go pull these legendaries, another out, also the ability to gain life, which is big. We also have Open the Omen Pass. So if you're not familiar with this, particularly a lot of times people are going to have played it in draft. The biggest one here that you're going to see is add 2 colors of any one color and 2 mana of any other color. So this is important because what you'll see is, even though it's Jeskai, it pivots to a 4 color. We got the good old Snapdax here. You can play Swamp, and then also when we get into the sideboard, we got a few things there as well. So we want to pay attention to that. It takes a little bit of setup. Keep that in mind. The other one that we can get here is the treasure tokens. We can sacrifice and add mana of any color. Here we can discard 2 cards and create that treasure token to enable the deck. So we're getting a lot of enablement in the turn 3 slot, so keep those things in mind. The other key call out here is this has the Raven's Warning. So we've seen this before. I like this, kind of like the Fae, except we can pull any card from our sideboard, pop that on top of our library, and we're going to be good to go from there. So very, very unique. We have the mutates where we can pull cast non-target non-creature spells from our graveyard with 3 or less. We have Snapdax here where it's got double strike. Additionally, when it mutates, deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker and opponent controls, and we gain 4. So very, very nice. We get draw cards. We get bounce cards. We have Perforos in here as a one-off as well. And then additionally, good old Aluna, Apex of Wishes at the top. So whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top for library until we exile non-land permanent card, put that card onto the battlefield into our hand. So very, very powerful there. Things to remember: the idea is ultimately, even though it's in Jeskai colors, we have those enablement colors in the other space if we need to, and then additionally you're going to look to mutate. We can make a bunch of 1/1 life gain tokens as well, mutate on those, and lots of things for us to drive forward with this. Now the sideboard is going to be important for us, again in terms of the Raven's Warning, but then also in terms of our best of 3 lineup, my friends. This deck is primarily a mid-range to late game deck. because as you can see, everything's at the 2, but really not going to do anything until we get to the 3 or 4 slots. So very patient with this one. Again, like I said, a lot of thinking through the lines of play because it does have the mutate and so forth there, my friends. So with that, we will dive into the sideboard. Like I said, there's quite a bit going on here, and we're going to break it down for us in terms of aggro, mid-range, and late game. This deck may run into some challenges against the aggro stuff. So if that does occur, what we need to do, we need to flip in things like Scorching Dragonfire, Soul Seer as well, to give us some advantage on our opponents. We can always keep the one-offs here for that pull with the Raven's Warning. Obviously, we got some of those things already there. We can gum the board up here with some of the early game, but really that's what you're going to look to do in terms of pulling those items off. Now, if you do hit a rogue stack, Glimpse of Freedom is something you can throw in. Ox of Agonis is something you can throw in. You want to take advantage of that graveyard. And then cycle decks, also things like a Miscast, negates potentially on the top end as well to keep in mind. Now, when we talk about aggro, these are decks like mono red, mono white aggro, additionally Boros. Sometimes the mono green aggro can be one, and also the Naya. So then we begin to look at going towards mid-range, so Mirror Match, also Gruul Aggro or Gruul Adventures. We did a wonderful Gruul food deck yesterday as well that you guys can check out, that top 8 by Kushiro in the Kaldehim Championship as well, which gives you some good options there. We also got our traditional food decks. Also in the space, you might run into Sacrifice decks, also Izzet Tempo, and then you may move on to kind of that traditional Rakdos Escape deck there as well. And really, again, similar style. If you are playing creature-based decks, you'll stick to the path of aggro. If not, you'll have to think through it a little bit more. But ideally, you're probably going to pull things in like negates, and additionally something like a Mystical Dispute potentially as well, my friends. So that's kind of how I would line up in that space. And then as we move to late game, these are going to be decks like the Ultimatum decks, Temur, Sultai, Turns, whatever you call it, you name it, we got it. Additionally, Doom decks, Esper 4 color, Azorus Fable, and other kind of late game decks. Now, those ones particularly will line up with some counter magic, which is really what we're going to want to do. We're going to try and play past it really quickly, is one piece. So keep those things in mind, my friends. In terms of where I would look to kind of move things out, to be honest, in terms of the aggro stuff, as much as I like Sea Dasher, that's probably going to be one that I would pull out. Additionally, we might want to go a little bit. I like the ramp for these creatures, so that's a consideration. Additionally, we have 22 lands, so we probably want to stick with that given what we have at the top end. We could consider something like a Perforos. We might not gain as much value. Pouncing Shore Shark is good against the aggro decks, but if you move upstream towards some of the late games, that's one that you can cut. Dreamtail Heron is also one that you could potentially cut. Again, the draw is nice, the refill is nice, but we just got to be careful there. So you're really going to focus on pulling the curve down, and then when you get to the late game and go the other way, think about trying to pull those things back in to be a little bit more quicker, or line up cards that are going to give you a little bit more value, kind of a thing. Particularly, again, some of the counter spells will make it a later game magic game. Whew, a lot going on here, my friends. We talked about a number of things here. We covered the board, main board in terms of the strategy objective. We talked about the sideboarding for aggro, mid-range, and late game matchups. Again, if you got questions or comments, let me know down below. Feel free to hop on the Discord server. So let's go ahead now and dive into it and play some competitive Magic. I'm super stoked to be playing this one here today. Relatively unique, which is always fun. So we're going to dive into it here with our Jeskai Mutate from the Kaldehim Championship. There's the top 8 Gruul food deck we just covered, and a host of other fun decks you guys can check out. So let's go into our standard ranked here, play our best of 1 by our friend Koyuchi Miyabi. And again, apologies if I butchered that. So looking forward to today's matches, something certainly unique here in the meta. Again, a relatively interesting deck to play for the championship, and so we definitely want to dive into it, like I said. So we got a late game deck here. Obviously, a lot of stuff that we're going to want to pull in is going to be counter magic spells. So hopefully we can get that Ravens and get some of those things sideboarded in here here for us today, so that we can really cover off on and hold things tight. So we'll see here. It's a little bit slow. Our opponent's going first. We do got a number of colors. I'm gonna keep it because we got a number of colors and we can always play this and kind of flip things around. So let's see what we can do in terms of what we have today. Now we could always run to something different without really knowing what our opponents have as well, so that's important to understand. So we're going to play a control deck now, it looks like. Now this also has instant speed, so you got to remember that too. And that's also instant speed. Let's go with the red. So ideally I want to dash in Sea Dasher if I can get through with it. And this guy we can mutate next turn. I'm gonna try and hard cast this and see if we can get away. Most likely probably gonna get stuffed here, but we'll try it. Kill spell. Yep, there it is. So we'll get a lot of that off the board now, which is going to be big. So we got 2 of them off. All right, let's try this guy. See if we can get away with it. Crawling Barrens will be a problem for us. They're gonna kill it again. Ooh, very control-oriented deck. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna pile all that down. Seems crazy, but we're gonna do it. It's fine. There we go. As long as they don't pick up a kill spell here. So ideally we mutate. And hit Yorion if we can get lucky. Now, we will go grab a negate. Hopefully. Maybe something else. Maybe Trawler. Let's grab Trawler. Oof. Let's cycle that guy in now. So far so good. We're gonna do this. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Actually, I need to hang on to that card. I figured though they could slip me and I need 3 direct damage. It was a mistake. Ah. Uh-oh, they're gonna scry the board. Yeah, Gravenlore. There you go. We're in a bad spot against this deck. We didn't have anything that really play against this one. Now, if we would have had the card, we would have removed the kill spell. But I don't think it would have mattered because they probably had 2. All right, we're going to go to next game. We're not coming back. So we could have hit, they still would have hit us down, and they would have been close to lethal there, so it wouldn't have made that big of a difference anyway, so not too worried about it. But let's go ahead and see what we can do on our next matchup here. So very interesting. Again, really weak to the removal. This deck's gonna excel against maybe some more of the aggro stuff if it is creature based. Even though, like I said, they could potentially get under early. So we'll just have to keep that in mind. We'll go first. We'll keep this. We got to turn 3 play, which is big. Lord MN it is. Mutate decks are always weak to the decks that keep the creatures off the board. So if that's your key mechanic and you can't deal with it, you're going to be running into some problems. All right, looks like we got another. It's probably a rogues deck, to be honest. We'll find out pretty soon. Yes. So what we need to do actually with Raven's Warning is we need to pull stuff over from our board. so this will be a tricky lineup for us. Let's grab that one. We'll need a blue. So we can pull that back. They can definitely kill Apex with Thunder. There it is. Try it again. Maybe better to try to flash this in than mutate on top. We just haven't hit any of that 2-drop slot, which has just been painful for this deck. Ooh. Everything is staying alive. We'll do this so we can see how it works. We'll go blue and we'll go red. Drop this guy. Now, ideally, we can hopefully live long enough to mutate. And then we could pull something back here from our sideboard, like Ox. We'll see if we can get away with this. Now, I could flash the other Sea Dasher in just to get the mutate draw. Alright, we'll do this. If they're running a slip, I'll be impressed. Oh, just not enough oomph against this deck. Not surprised they're playing rogues either after the weekend's events. See if they counter here. Ooh, 6-5. Didn't work. That's gonna drain. Bad math on my end. That's all right. We're also draining our own deck, which is a huge problem. All right, let's see if we can come back. We don't have long. They certainly got enough that they can start pulling from as well. We need to do a few things here. Long way to go. Killing Dreamtail is going to hurt us. Shark is 4. Now we're getting a little bit closer. Oh, what a top deck. What a top deck. The answer they needed. Oh, what do we want to do? Could drain him with that. Let's see if that works. Now we can flash the Sea Dasher onto the bird token. Whew. Not looking good, my friends. brutal all the way through. We'll punch that guy back. So that will miss. We're still alive for a little bit here. Oh. So many nice top decks. So let's see if we can do this for 5. We need green. And we need blue. All right. So they got me in 2 turns if they draw 2 lands. That's all they need. And they got plenty of stuff that can move out of their graveyard. No. None of these are going to work for what we need. I'm doing this for the wall. It's going to flip that up anyway. We'll try it. All right, we're good, game. We're not going to waste our time. We're going to go into best of 3 now because this is hurting and it's going slow. It's going slow and pretty fragile to removal. As we've seen, we haven't hit a single aggro deck. So let's go ahead and play some best of 3 now with the deck. Traditional, standard, ranked. Again, the top 8 food deck. Today, the Jeskai Mutate deck. We're cutting early over because the matches are taking a little bit longer than I was hoping. So for those of you hopping in here at this point, we've played 2 best of 1 matches, both Dimir, so control and rogues, making a very bad matchup for us here today. So we'll try Dana for real. And we'll play our fun Jeskai Mutate deck. And see what we got going on here. All right, opponent goes first. This is not a good keep. This is a little bit better, so we'll keep this. Finally, we got 2 turn 2s. I'm gonna drop that guy. We'll go from there. All right, so now we get to play some mono red aggro, my friends. Oh, nothing like the absolutely lovely mono red deck. Do I take the 1? Yeah, absolutely, because I can put a creature on that. All right, so what do we need here? 4. Let's go white and blue. So what do we want to discard here? Let's keep that guy, because we can mutate that at 4. Then we can pull back the 3. So maybe we drop the wall? Yeah, that's fine. Make this guy a flyer. Alright, Shore Shark. We can make him bigger too in the flying space. Let's get rid of that guy. Might be risky, but we'll find out, I guess. Ooh, go search too. Now let's drop that. There we go. Now we have enough for this guy. Should. We put him back on top. Unless they burn it. What do we get rid of? Let's get rid of that guy. There we go. Woo! We won one. There we go. Best of 3 right lineup here. So, what are we going to move in? We are going to move in these two. And we will move out. Do we want to move out a late game? And late game. As much as I'd love to play that, this is the better play. And I don't mind that one. We'll think about that one. All right, we'll try this. The other mutate guy would be pretty good in here too, though. So we will go with that. We can keep this. We got 2 early game cards. All right, let's see what we can do, my friends. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So I can throw on the Sea Dasher. If they want to draw. Oops. On the human. Ooh. How do we want to play this? I could thin. I think we do this, though. We'll wait a turn. There it is. Ooh, going real aggressive on the burn now, huh? Not bad. Not bad. I'll go grab that. I'll grab this. Throw that in there. Pick that guy off. Give him a draw. So burn will take cupboard and off. We're going to try it though. Ideally, we would unsubstantiate Torbrand here. see what they do. I think we want to do that. There we go. So as long as they don't have lethal here, we're good. Now, if they have cleave, they're good. Boom. All kinds of nasty business going on there with that combo, my friends. It doesn't say non-land, so you can actually flip the Faceless Haven back there. All right, so what do we want to do? We're good. Ah, yes, love it. A great best of 3 match, my friends, against mono red there with our Mutate deck. So see, now we play a fast match in best of 3. We played slower matches in best of 1, and it all worked out. So let's go ahead and check out today's deck. So again, I think initially I said that it might be open to aggro. Obviously, again, slow curve, so it could be. We happen to hit well against our best of 3 match, so very happy about that. So all in terms of best of 1, we went 0-2, decided to flip over to best of 3 today. Ended up going 2-0 and 1 out against the mono red deck, so it worked out really well. We did hit our curve better in those decks matches versus the best of 1, which is kind of unfortunate. Again, where is this position? Maybe in best of 1. Honestly, the mutate stuff is too fragile to that removal. We saw that happen again in the best of 1, or sorry, best of 3 with the red deck moving in and boarding in some of those things. So you got to get the stuff to stick. Once it sticks, you're okay. Where's this sit? I'm going to say on the lower end of tier 2, potentially tier 3 in best of 1. In best of 3, gonna work okay against the aggro. I don't like some of the matchups and some of the meta right now with this particular version of this deck. Very fun though. I'm going to say similar, bottom of tier 2, probably tier 3 to be honest with it. A very unique deck. I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun, and it's great to see some of these things. Certainly if you get moving, as we saw in the combo land there, for our best of 3 match with the double strike and the draws. You can get a lot of things going, but it just takes a lot to build there, in some of that board security that we talked about there. So Planeswalkers, again, this is the Jeskai Mutate deck. It was a top deck for the Kaldehim Championship deck, or anyways, one that was brought by Koichi Miyabi, which I may have mispronounced again, so apologies, but very, very fun. As you guys can see, I really, really enjoyed today's deck. Jeskai, we flip, we make some good, cool moves out of the Kaldehim stuff here, which is awesome. I love to see that, and I think it's a really, really unique take, like I said. So Planeswalkers, if you got questions or comments, let me know down below. Here to help. Absolutely ask. Feel free to go in the details, hop on Discord server. Other great ways to support the channel, my friends. And if you enjoyed today's video, flip me a like. If you feel bad for my losses in best of 1, flip me a like. Or if you love the best 3 match, do that as well. So we'll see you again soon, Planeswalkers. Stay safe. A lot of things coming your way here. Strixhaven's coming soon. I know a lot of you are asking me about that. So stay tuned. We got a lot of fun stuff planned. Another, as always, weekly meta, so you can stay on top of that game. And then additionally, we just published the tier list for this month, but we'll do one again next month. So lots coming your way, Planeswalkers. Stay in touch, stay safe, Mythras out, and until next time.